I sold drugs for a long time, right? So 10, 15 years, right? And I was really good at it. But I think my son, like, changed my mind where I had to be like, look, I'm in my 30s, I have a child. I did this to have this lifestyle, and I'm really good at what I do. But there has to be a change, right?
Like us creatives, one of the aspects is being resourceful. But sometimes as a young kid, you don't know what you don't know, right? And this just starts happening. Either we have someone in our corner, whether that's your mom telling you, like, I don't know, go fucking find out.
I wake up at 4 a.m., and what's crazy is the girls I talk to, they're like, what do you do all day? I said, nothing. So why do you wake up at 4? It's like, this is me. I wake up at 4 and do nothing.
We have social media nowadays. There's no excuse not to make fucking money now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the rawest corner of the culture, where fitness meets fashion, money meets mindset, and we all got something going on.
Yes, sir.
The No Days Offline podcast.
Back again.
No Days Offline.
What episode is this?
Another week. Yeah, what episode we got?
I think this is episode 9.
9?
Yes,
9 or
episode
8.
9.
Okay. Last week we had Brooklyn.
Yeah, that was great.
It was great, man. For all you ladies out there, that's a special episode. So if you haven't checked that out, please go back and check that out. But today, we've got a really special guest. I'm going to call him Mr. World Traveler, man.
Yes, sir.
Because everything I've seen online for him, he's somewhere new.
And we're going to discover a few things because he said it off the pod.
Yeah.
He said it. He's a bit of a ghost.
Yeah.
So we're about to find out for sure.
And I love that, right? In today's days and age. But mostly, he's a hustler.
Relationship architect is the word that we're throwing. Yo, that shit is that is a gift and it is a skill, bro. But
you know the definition of always got something going on.
Yeah, sir.
Today we got Jazzy with us. What up, brother?
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
No problem.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Like we said, man, we trying to figure this one out.
Yeah, man. What is
I can tell you, I went through like your IG and I scrubbed and I scrubbed. And I scrubbed a bit more, and all I could find is you traveling the world, man. Like straight up, it's just like straight up vacation,
You
man.
sound like the feds. That's how they said it to me.
man.
We're trying to do the homework, man. We're trying to do the homework.
And you know, it's a comment to you, man, because we try to do every guest a service of being able to know who they are, to be able to speak to them, and you enjoy your privacy, and we love that. But you built a brand off of this privacy, pretty much.
Yeah.
So tell us about that, man.
Oh man, what is a bread? I don't know. I'm myself. I'm actually, I actually deal with like anxiety. I'm a loner. I'm a loner with a lot of friends, and I've always been that way. Like I can be in a circle with a bunch of people in a room, and I feel out of place just because I don't know. I'm just in my own world, but I learned to adapt and just be around my surroundings. So I mean, my passion is traveling. So
Yeah.
But I wanted to be a ghost. I want to be a ghost that everybody knows, but like, if you try to find me, you can't find me. Like, nothing's in my name. Like, you can't find me anywhere. Like,
It was by design.
It was by design. Yeah. Man, I was a hustler, so my background's hustling, and so street hustler and hustling in school. So I think we had a conversation, and I think you sent me. What do you have, a group, right?
Yeah.
So you sent me the group, and my mind works is I think 100 different ways to make money. Once you said that to me, I think you said it by mistake, but I looked at it, I was like, all right, I think we can make some real money real quick off of this. So this is how I don't know, it just works that way. I always think about making money. Yeah. I don't care about money. I just care about freedom. I just want to wake up every day and
do whatever the fuck
I want. I wake up at 4 a.m. And what's crazy is the girls I talk to, they're like, what do you do all day? I said, nothing. She said, why do you wake up at 4? It's like, this is me. I wake up at 4 and do nothing. Like, I figure out what I want to do throughout the day. I love that. So
You talk about adaptability.
Yeah.
And I want to touch on that. Where do you believe, because I hear you say that you want to be also a ghost.
Yeah.
Being a ghost, you pretty much disappear.
Yeah.
But where does this adaptability comes from, and why do you believe it was needed?
I think it was my mom. We're not really on terms like that, but I think this take me from, I'm from Jersey originally, right?
Yeah, me too.
And
East
Coast, then Atlanta, and then we moved to Arizona, and I just white people, and I didn't know what Mexicans were, and then like, I don't know, I just love culture. So I think that's kind of got me into traveling, just culture, and being able to be around different people and adapt to their culture. And so I don't know, I'm a people person, right? I love people, but I'm an energy reader too. Like I can tell from across the room if I don't like somebody.
Yeah.
That's solid. Yeah.
Yeah. And I protect my energy with everything. Like I'm not coming. Like
Yeah.
you invite me. So I don't know. I think from a child, I just threw me with the wolves. And I was a loner too. So it was single mother. So
Do you believe it developed more as a survival skill?
it was because nobody taught me anything, right? I had to learn everything on my own. And honestly, I love that. Like, which is crazy because I tried to teach my son everything. At the same time, I went him to learn on his own because, I don't know, it's a different thing when you learn something on your own. It gets embedded in your mind.
When you learn something on your own, and we talk about it here, right? Like us creatives, one of the aspects is being resourceful. But sometimes as a young kid, you don't know what you don't know, right? And it just starts happening. Either we have someone in our corner, whether that's your mom telling you, like, I don't know, go fucking find out or something. Who was that person where you started to realize that, okay, I need to fix this things myself because there's nobody that's going to come save me?
You know what? It wasn't anybody. It was my mom, right? I think we started drifting apart because she had she was like a pill. She did pills. Listen, my mom, before I even say anything about her, she was the most hardworking person I ever met, right? She worked 2 jobs. I hoped to work her second job after school. I would fall asleep. So she used to clean houses. And we would literally, after school, go clean houses. I wake up at 6 a.m. and like go back to school. So we worked to buy a house together. Like this is so nothing negative, but she had a problem, right? She had a drug and alcohol problem, and it runs in my family. I've had it. But I think at that point I realized there's nobody here to help me. Like my dad's not here. Right. So I was like, I'm all alone. So I'm going to have to fucking figure this shit out on my own. So at that point, I just like, fuck it. I'll figure it out. And then we're here.
It's so interesting because like I've been following you for a long time and I've been just like, Joe, just inspired. I'm like, this dude travels the world. He does whatever the fuck he wants to do at any given time. But you've been connected by so many different people, just like we talked to, like from all different races and cultures and ethnicities. And I'm like, I feel like I have that type of gift where like I kind of naturally, it's funny because you call yourself a loner, but I feel like people kind of naturally attract to you. You feel me? And I feel like growing up, like I had my dad. I was just talking about the fellas before you came. I was telling them, I was like, I had my dad. I watched my dad and I observed how he moved. Yeah. You feel me? And I was like, he just gets along with everybody. So like I kind of learned from him. So it's interesting to see both perspective from someone who didn't learn from anybody and from someone who I learned from my father, but it ends up in the same result. Yeah. And so like people, it's easy to get along with those people. And it's like, I think it's a blessing. I feel like you have to be a certain type of person to even for people to feel comfortable even open up to you. You know what I mean? So I think it's
different for people that look like us.
Yes, it's way different. It's way different because it's so funny, and I say this so humbly as a black man. And when I grew up in the suburbs, right? So everybody was always intimidated. You feel me? But once they started talking to me, you can tell people's guard just goes
all day. Yeah,
it just drops. And then people, it's just funny because I was as an observant person, I didn't talk, I listened. Yeah. So every time someone's guard drops, they just want to tell you everything about it, bro. I'm just like, I didn't even ask for this information. Yeah. But it's a certain type of like, it's a weird thing that like, I think it's a gift that when people feel coming from you.
Talking about it. It's the things you can't teach. Yeah. It's an energy you just have.
Energy is everything.
Yeah, agreed.
I studied Buddhism when I lived in Bali for a little bit, and the guy used to tell me like your aura attracts people. Because I feel like, listen, I would go out. I didn't realize like, I had social anxiety. I would go out to the club by myself, right? Yeah. And I'd be like, what am I going to do? And then everybody knows me. And then I just feel like welcome. But then I was like, I don't know why. Like, I'm just a nobody. But I mean, it kind of just worked out for me. But my superpower is like sixth sense. It's like, that saved me forever in life. Like understanding my surroundings and feeling energy with people. So
I agree. So would you say you're good at picking up on like body language? Do you think body language is more important than actual verbal?
Oh, body language is everything. Energy. Okay. Yeah. Energy first. I can feel somebody's energy.
Yeah, same.
Before anything, right? Yeah. And I used to get pulled over all the time. I was notorious. Like I didn't have a license for like 10 years. I was that guy, right?
Yeah.
And every time I got pulled over, people would be like, what happened? I was like, no, they were chill. He's like, they're just chill with you. I was like, dog, this guy can feel my energy before he gets to the window because I'm not defensive. Yeah. And look, I don't know how in depth we go here, but I've lived like 20 lifetimes.
Bro,
right?
go ahead. Go ahead.
So one time, I haven't done drugs in like 10, 12 years, right? So let's say about 10 years ago. I had no license. It was like a Tuesday afternoon. We were drinking all day. And I had my girl's car at the time, and I had 6 people in the car. We're going to Tempe from Scottsdale, drunk. Did some blow, and then this cop pulls me over, and there's 6 of us in here. And I was like, oh, man. I'm like, guys, I'm going to jail. And everybody's like, what? I'm like, I'm going to jail. They're like, okay. The guy comes to the car and said, hey, look, before you start, I had a couple drinks. I'm not drunk. I did a line, and I had no license. And the guy's like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah. But he's like, let me get all your IDs. So he grabs all our IDs. And then he comes back. He gets me out the car. He's like, look, I actually pulled you over because your girl was driving drunk with some other girl the other night, and I gave her a DUI, and I was making sure she wasn't driving again. But now you're driving. But he's like, you're so cool. He's like, look, I'm just going to give you a ticket. I'm going to impound the car. You guys just go have fucking fun. He's like, do you have drugs on you? I said, no, I'm good. Like, I already did that shit before we got in the car.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, be on your way. And my boy was like, I don't know what the fuck this happened. I was like, dog, look, sometimes you lie, but sometimes I just feel that the vibe. And I was like, look, let me not even like, let's just get this over with. Right. I thought I was going to jail. So I was like, look, get me to jail, book me, give me the 4th Ave so I can bail myself out. Right. I know the routine already. So yeah. So at that point, I don't know. Energy is just, it's everything. So
I agree.
Yeah, but that sounds like you had a big change in life, bro.
Man, my son changed my life.
Yeah.
Like, I would be. So, I mean, I don't know. Mostly everybody knows I sold drugs for a long time, right? So 10, 15 years, right? And I was really good at it. But I think my son, like, changed my mind where I had to be like, look, I'm in my 30s. I have a child. I did this to have this lifestyle, and I'm really good at what I do. But there has to be a change, right? And so I can't be in prison and have a child. So I think he changed my life. Because if I didn't have my son, oh man, I would be like, listen, yeah, he saved my life. And then I had another one, but yeah, I owe it all to his first one. And I didn't even want him, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy story. Okay, so I have stories for days. All right. So how I found out about him, I was in Costa Rica in the jungle, and I found out on Facebook, this guy DM'd me, and he got new Jazzy. He didn't get old Jazzy. Old Jazzy would have came and found this motherfucker, but he got new peaceful Jazzy. He's like, oh, that's why I hook up with your girl when you're out of town. He DM'd me this on Facebook. I said, oh, okay. So I called her. No service. I'm just blowing her up. She's finally admits it. Say, look, you were never around. You're always gone. It happened. I said, okay, cool. Let's just end it. I'm like, I'm in Costa Rica. Like, I'm not. Yeah. I've been gone for 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'm supposed to move back to Bali. So right. So we hang up. Hour later, she calls. I'm pregnant. I said, with who? You. I said, no, stop that. No. So now we're on FaceTime. It's raining. I'm like under this tent, and then I made her go back to CVS, go get this, go get a test, do everything in front of me on the FaceTime. And then I was like, all right, well, I guess I got to come back home. But I was like, you know what? I'm a master manipulator. Tell your parents that you're pregnant. And the reason why is I'm like, your white parents aren't going to let you have a baby with some nigga who's never here, right? Even though they like me, I'm still black at the end of the day, right? So, and her dad didn't like kids. Me and him were cool, but he's like, man, I didn't want kids. She was like, consolation prize, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, tell them, I know they're going to say that. So they did say that, and they're like, you should get an abortion. So I come back, we are at brunch, her stepdad starts crying, and I was like, man, what is going on here? Her mom starts crying, she starts crying. I was like, your blood, please don't let this happen. They're like, look, we want you to have this baby. I said, no, stop.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we think it's the right thing for you. I said, okay, look, I want to move out the country and just experience the world more. So he's like, all right, because you have no connection, right? When you have, clearly I'm trying to end it with this girl, right? And I had no connection with her. So we didn't plan this child. So they're like, look, we're going to, you 2 years, give up 2 years of your life to be here and you can leave. I said, done. All right, I'm out. So I gave her my place. I moved in with her because I'm not paying 2 bills. And she was month 1. Crazy. I was like, nah, I got to get out of here. So I stayed at the W for a month. I was walling out at the W, right? I come back, get my clothes. She like threatens to call the cops. I said, okay, this is over. Never again. But then for something happened, she hit me up the day before she's supposed to have the baby. I said, hey, look, hit me up only for money. Don't hit me up for anything emotional. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm nothing.
Right.
I'm already checked out. You already cheated. For once, I've been faithful and you cheated on me. So but I believe in karma, so it happened. So
Yeah.
the day before she has the baby, she calls me. She said, "Hey, I just want to go to sit by a pool." I said, "Okay, I'll take you to mine, Lucia." Blew $1,000. This girl can't even drink this for a cabana. She goes in labor, and I happen to be there when my son is born. I didn't expect myself to be there, and when I touched this child, it was like,
Yeah, that's,
man, I could cry. Like,
yeah, bro.
that moment, like yeah, man. And I was just okay. I did it all for this guy, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't still take it serious until I think he got like 3 and 4 and 5. He understood things, and he was like,
that's a fun age.
Aware of surroundings. Oh man, I was
Start
like,
repeating shit to you.
yeah. I was like, nah, this kid can't see my lifestyle and what I'm doing and figure out like. You would tell kids, "Oh, my dad has all this money." I was like, "No, I got to figure something else out." So
Yeah,
I had to switch it up.
I respect that.
Prior to the pod, you were talking about Buddhism, and I take it that you are somewhat of a religious man.
Yeah, man, I have like all Buddhism tattoos.
Where does that come from? Because I mean, realistically, and again, the order that I've seen, it's always, for example, Latinos, we have either Catholic or Christian. Black people, I've seen Christian, or they convert to Islam. But with transparency, you have to be perhaps one of the first ones that I hear that it's more inclined towards Buddhism.
Yeah.
Why is that?
You know what? I grew up Catholic in a Catholic school, and then we converted to Christian when we got to Arizona. And then something just didn't feel like my first tattoo is it's just God, G-O-D. I thought that's what I should get. And then I just didn't feel like I had a connection. Like I went to church. It just wasn't my thing. And then I just wanted to figure out other religions. And so, man, another story. So I almost went to jail for like 6 years, right? And I put this kid in the hospital. This kid tried to fight me one day over something. And he tried to hit me in the head with a boulder. A big ass rock, but I ducked and he tripped and ran off. And I was like, this is old Jazzy. And I was like, man, when I see this kid, I'm gonna kill this kid. Like, and I saw this kid 2 weeks later, and this would mostly change my life. I was in the club and I had a bottle, and my boy who owned the club, it was Cake. He was like, look, you can hit him, but don't hit him with the bottle. I said, okay. So I walked up, he looked right at me. I looked him dead as I walked up. I hit this guy twice, but when I hit him, like, I'm a big guy. I was trying to punch this kid's face, but I put like $170,000 of damage because I like cracked his nose, cracked his skull, and he just hit the ground. But I almost went to jail. I was in jail for like 3 months, and I almost went to prison for 6 years. Even my public defender, I had to get a lawyer. My lawyer's like, "Yo, they're trying to give you 6 years in prison. Why?" I was like, "Man, I sell drugs," and I'm like, "They know I sell drugs." I was like, "They've never been able to catch me." So they're going to put me down any way they can. So, yeah, after that, I felt like I needed more. And so I was like, man, there has to be more. Like, I felt like a calling because my thing was I felt energy. Like, I would never, if I felt negative energy from you, I would never sell to you. Like, if I felt it was the wrong situation, I would never go to it because I was never greedy about that. And it always worked itself out. So I went to Indonesia. I fell in love with it. And then Buddhism kind of confused me. And then I realized, I'm like, you know what? I don't know what to really believe in. So I believe in, because everybody needs something to believe in, right? So I believe in just doing right by others. And that can make the world the simplest, the best place ever, right? We just do right by each other.
Absolutely.
So I think I'm more transitioned to that now. I transition to energy and just doing right. And so, and if I do negative with people, I feel it. I feel it the next day. Even with the girl, I feel it. Like, if I sleep with a girl, knowing I'm not going to talk to her, maybe my frontal lobes develop, but like, I start feeling these emotions now. So just doing right by people.
You know, I hear you a lot say that was the old Jazzy, or this is the new Jazzy.
Yeah. Old Jazzy is wild.
In terms of like things we normally speak about, we'll say like you rebranded yourself, right?
I think so. I think people are who they are from birth. You know, okay, so my dad is one of my best friends now. Wasn't in my life. And what happened is, when I was 30, he called me, because that's when I first had a child. He's like, hey, I heard you had a baby. I said, okay, whatever, nigga. What do you want? He's like, I'm going to be there for his first birthday. I said, for sure you will. I'm like, all right, whatever you want to do, man. He was there for his first birthday, as he said, stayed there for 2 weeks. and I just chill with him one-on-one. And we would sit on the couch, barely talk, watch TV, and my ex would be like, "Why you guys talk?" I'm like, "Oh, we're just chilling. Like, this is us. Like, we're silent people, right?"
Right.
After hanging out with him and getting to know him, and then just like I realized how much of your DNA is crossed to your child without them being. So I learned my morals from my mother, right? My hard work and my morals. But me just being the type of person I am and the cool guy and like relaxed, everybody's best friend. Yeah. That's my dad. Like, and I just started coming into a little bit more money at that time. And this guy was building the house, right? And I knew he was kind of hurting for money. So I said, "Hey, do you want to borrow some money?" And my ex is like, "Why would you give him money?" I was like, "Look, I'd rather give this guy money not to be in my life or my son's life, right? It's worth it to me." So he's like, no, I'm good. He's prideful like me. So he hit me up like 2 months later, and he's like, "Hey, can I borrow that money?" I said, yeah, I'll wire it right over to you. Be there tomorrow. I don't know how much I gave him, but I didn't think about it. It's gone.
Right.
Now it's Christmas, 8 months later or whatever. He's like, "Hey, I've got to give you a Christmas present." I was like, "Man, I'm 32. Don't give me shit." After that next Monday, whenever Christmas was, I was over. I had a wire plus 20% in my account for this guy, and this guy is like my best friend. Now when he comes and hangs out, he'll be like, "We'll chill at the house." He's like, "Hey, it's Tuesday. The sun's out." I said, "Yeah, what do you want to do?" He's like, "Let's go drink." I said, I would hang out and drink with this guy and talk with him all day long. And just chill. Like,
that's so cool.
My best friend now. And I wish we had that, but I'm glad we didn't have that because it made me independent. Like, people can't even change their battery. Like, my friends most of my friends who had their fathers in their lives don't know anything about life. And I know everything about life, right? So I know a lot, but I think I know a pretty decent amount. Yeah.
Right.
What do you think change in your father's mindset? To actually
no, he's still stubborn ass nigga, but I think he had multiple kids. I think I don't know. I think he felt bad. I don't know. I'm his firstborn. I'm his favorite. So but I don't know. I just think he felt bad, or maybe he just had it. Listen, my brother is 12 years old or 13, so he kept having kids. He hasn't stopped. So I just think I don't know. He just wanted. Maybe he grew up himself, right?
Yeah.
So and it took him longer than most people.
People mature at different ages.
Yeah. So, seeing my dad, I would never do that to my kids. Right? I'm in my kids' life no matter what.
Right.
So,
yeah,
I respect that.
No, I can relate because same thing. My pops wasn't really around. He started coming around when I was older.
How did that make you feel?
I was so indifferent about it, and I still am.
Sure.
You know, so
you're like resentment, or
no? It's like one of those things where it's like, I just don't know you.
Yeah.
You can't build that connection. I just don't know.
It's hard, right?
I just don't know you. And, you know, to his credit, tried and everything, but I just can't get there.
Yeah, I feel you.
But it's the same thing like you said. I can't ever look at my kids and be like, oh, like, there ain't no way I'm going to be there for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
100%. It's like one of those things. But
no. I'll die for my son. Listen. Yeah. I'll bury the body. He's calling me up. Like, what we doing? What we burying?
No, that's facts. I'm the same way about my son, man.
It's interesting because I'm from New York.
Okay.
I grew up born and raised in New York City. Yeah. So it's interesting to see all three of us.
Different, completely different. Yeah, that's weird, bro.
Life. Yeah, so similar.
I was born in Newark, New Jersey.
Same.
Yeah,
East
bro.
Orange.
Yeah. Oh, see. And it's bad.
Family, man.
And it's bad in Newark, bro. If I try to tell people, I'm like, bro,
you want to go? I'm like, go back where? I said never.
Yeah, never. Like I was born there, and my pops too. He knew. He was like, nah, we got to get you out of here. So I was mad young. I was like 4 or 5, and my dad was like, yep. My grandma was that OG. Like she sat on the porch. And she lived in the project, so like no one ever bothered her because she'd been there forever.
She's that,
you know what I mean? So she drink her Budweiser and she just chill and smoke cigarettes, and no one ever bothered her. She just was like one of the old ladies that just everybody just like they always knew, leave Miss Crowley alone. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's so interesting to see where we all come from the East Coast, but we're all here, and then we all have different lives. It's that's an interesting dynamic because I didn't know you're from Jersey.
No, I think a lot of people know.
Not only that, like if you really think about it and you want to get a little more crazy, is like the fact that sure all of you guys, the East Coast and all of that, but the fact that he's mentioning that he was stuck in Costa Rica.
Yeah, facts, and he's Costa Rican.
Oh, you're Costa Rican?
I grew up in Costa Rica. My mother is Costa Rican from San Jose.
Okay, I love it. Listen, I have a love-hate relationship with Costa Rica, man. They take advantage of tourists, which
I mean, what place doesn't?
I mean,
Yeah.
that is, you know what? You're not wrong on that.
No, but I feel you. I feel you because, and trust me, man. Like even myself, I've been gone for so long.
Yeah.
That sure, I still have certain words and I understand all of the slang and everything, but because I've been so away for so long, I'm no longer from there.
Yeah.
So even I could look the part, I could maybe sound 90% the part, and I still even
trying
get
to get
taken
you, like-
exactly.
Yeah.
So the thing is, when you go over there, it
I
does
already
matter.
told him. I'm like,
it
no.
matters who you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm like, no. Give me regular price.
It's so no. I mean, it's
no,
trying
it's
to
two different
inflate-
prices.
They're trying to inflate that
that's it.
shit.
yeah.
Listen, I was driving. I love driving in Costa Rica. That's like one of the
That's the thing.
coolest places you can drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I pulled over to a house to get ceviche. It was like $45. I said,
Oh
listen,
no.
no, you're out your mind, lady. I was like, I'll give you $10.
I was gonna say 10, 15 bucks. That sounds more
She
like
said
it.
45. She thought she was dumb. She's like, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get him.
Just 10 real quick. Keep it moving.
Did you ever get a chance to visit the Caribbean side?
No,
Costa Rica?
actually, I'm not gonna lie. I really don't like Costa Rica, and I think it's because of the bad experiences I had. But I would love to go back and actually drive through and experience it more.
Yeah.
But that's to say is one thing can ruin your whole experience for a country, and I hate that because it is a beautiful country.
Yeah.
People say I would tell them to go there. I'm not gonna go there, but I need to. I want to go experience more of the coastline. I want to chill. I think now I'm transitioning to. When I travel, I would only say I leave for 2 weeks, right? I would hit like 5 countries in those 2 weeks. I believe in like, let me go check a place out, see if I like it. I'll move on, and then I'll come back and chill there.
Yeah.
But now I want to actually, as I told you, I want to do Brazil. I keep forgetting. I have like blur in my mind. Because these 20 lives I've lived, I can't remember a lot of things. I have to actually message people and ask them, did we go here? He's like, yeah, you don't remember? I was like, I forgot. But I want to go and experience. Like every time I go back to Brazil, I forget how much I love. Listen, Brazil is the cheap Miami with the beautiful women, the energy, the weather, the vibe, active people with the best bodies, and it's just everything. So I want to go back for a couple months and like really experience it. Trying to learn Portuguese, which is one of the hardest to learn, but
Yeah.
I want to do that for Costa Rica. I want to
I'm actually surprised. I got to say, you are the very first person that I hear did not have a good time. So I'm intrigued who you rolled with because they
solo,
they're the
man.
ones. Well, I mean, if you rolled solo and you were trying to do your thing, then no wonder, man.
No, they try to
Because
get
over
me every
there,
time.
I don't know if you know this, but there's a whole lot of Afro culture in Costa Rica.
100%.
So I was telling the guys back in the day, I don't know now, but back in the day, they used to shut down Sundays and all they will play will be reggae roots.
Oh man, I love that.
You know, you go out to the clubs and the majority of the music that you will hear will be dancehall. You know what I'm saying?
It's still not.
It is very, it's still, it's part of the culture itself. I don't know how the radio stations work now or everything, but what I'm saying is, if you get the chance next time, go to the Caribbean aspect of Costa Rica, and man, like you'll love it.
You may sell me again, man. Maybe just to hop over there real
Hey,
quick.
who knows, man? Who knows?
I have like restaurants and things I'm invested in, and so now I'm transitioning to like do my own thing.
Okay.
I'm tired of making white people money who take advantage of me at the end of the day because they don't care. It's crazy because they think I'm stupid, but me, I just choose peace over violence.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll send me P&Ls, and I'm like, all right, whatever. You're just bullshitting me. So
Right.
it's same thing as fucking selling drugs. They're ripping you off any day they can, right? So I expect it to happen. So now I'm actually transitioning to build my own concepts.
Okay.
And hopefully it'd be open here. Man, it's been up and down. I don't know. It's raising money. I've never had to ask people for money, right? So I've been homeless twice. I was homeless twice, took in by 2 different families. So I have like a weird lifestyle, but it's weird asking people for money when I didn't really have to. I would like live $25 a week. I'm not asking nobody for a fucking dollar.
Yeah.
I don't want to owe anybody money. But now it's this transition is kind of hard, and it's sucking up my pride and like teach me a lot of different things. Also, I'm a procrastinator. So something I love chaos.
Yeah.
I love waiting the last minute. If you said we're going somewhere next week, dog, when is the flight? 10 a.m. I'm waking up at 8:30. I'm packing my bags and I'm gonna get everything done. I'm gonna be at the airport like 10 minutes before boarding. Like I love organized chaos. So I like a lot of things going on. So if I don't have a lot going on, I just procrastinate, take my time to get things done. And that's my downfall is I'm not structured. I'm more of a visionary. Yeah. And so I need to teach myself to be that or transition to find somebody who can do it for me, right? Because I think you should actually I should find somebody to do it for me, right? And just be good at what I am. And I progress that way.
Yeah, just have someone build the schedule for you.
Yeah. Somebody to run it, man. I can see 10 steps ahead always in my mind since I was a kid. Man, I was selling candy. My dad used to work, I don't know if you guys remember the soda company. It used to be Tab Soda, T-A-B. He used to work at the warehouse. And he used to get baseball cards and candy. And that nigga was stealing it. So this is my stepdad, sorry to tell you guys. Okay, so he was stealing it. So I was stealing it from him. And then I was like, you know what? I'm like, these kids are, like, they need candy and cards. I would just take a little, put in my backpack. Man, before I knew it, I had like maybe back then, $1,400. I'm in like third or fourth grade.
That's crazy.
And how I got caught is trying to feed the whole block. The fucking ice cream truck comes around the corner, and the person you said, like my aunt, but she's not my aunt. She just takes care of me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm buying everybody candy. I got all this. We got Pop Rocks. Everybody's just dropping. Then I dropped hundreds of dollars on this fucking ice cream truck, trying to ball out. She caught me, took my money, whipped my ass. They found out, and I was like, all right, well. That hustle's gone, then I'm finding a new hustle. That's my mind is 100 different ways how to make money every day. I love it.
The money is crazy.
They took the money. I was like, took the money, man.
Oh, they got you then.
Oh yeah, they didn't give it back. Like
they was like, man, well, all right, well, he don't know no better.
Yeah,
he in third grade.
I was selling things for like 50 cents a dollar. So I was like pushing hard, 25 cents, like little pieces of candy, whatever. I was selling anything.
Yeah, I think that's a common thing we've kind of seen with some of our guests, like Brando with the duct tape wallets.
Yeah,
what was he doing?
He was selling duct tape wallets. Remember those back in like 2000?
Oh, man,
yeah. And so the guy that owns Boredom Kills. He was like, said we were asking about his story. And he was like selling those duct tape wallets at an early age. I think the hustler mentality. I think a lot. Yeah, it's kind of like either let me ask you a question. Do you believe you're born with it, or you believe it is it a conditioning thing, or is it just like a I think
it's born with it.
Yeah.
But also conditioning too, right?
Yeah.
Mine's out of necessity. We were like,
that's valid.
I was broke. We're like
having bread.
Yeah. Eating salad and beans every day. Like my parents tried to do what they could. So it was like, I saw these kids like living better lives. Like, listen, I would go to these kids' houses after school and I always wanted a pantry full of things. Like, they had everything.
Yeah.
Once I got money, that was like my goal. I was like, I get my place. Pantry, everything.
Snacks for days.
Yeah. We usually have like toilet paper. Like we got everything. I got everything. Like I even like my dad once taught me. He's like, look, you should always buy. I still to today buy when I got older because I got so many lives, but I lived with my dad actually for 1 year of my life, 2 years of my life because I was in a halfway house when I was younger, and so. When I did live with him, he taught me, he's like, hey, when you live on your own, you need to buy, at the beginning of the month, buy all your necessities for yourself. Also buy necessities for a woman. And it's like face washes and wipes and tampons and all these things. And I literally got that in my crib. I got a drawer for, I don't want to be doing that anymore, but I have a drawer of T-shirts just for females to take T-shirts. Like I make sure like, if somebody came to my house, everybody's comfortable. I got everything for everybody.
Right.
Dishwashing liquid. I got
tons
of it. I was like, that was like my success. I was like,
right.
Man, you got to have that. Like, I had to go walk to the store and like with some cheese go buy something at the Dollar Tree. Right. So
I believe that you are born with it.
Yeah.
You are born with it. And can you get conditioned? Absolutely. Yeah. But the reality is, for example, like one of the things that we all have in common here, like we grew up in the rough areas.
Yeah.
We grew up with necessity. And the reality is some of us, we had it and we recognized it and we did something about it. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to tell me that you don't have that homie that actually never fucking did nothing. Yeah. And it's still a bum. Mm-hmm. despite of the situation. Because we can say, yeah, it's necessity, and that's usually what shapes you. No, not really, because there's still 99% of the population out there still not doing shit.
No, right. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I think there's just different forms of hustle.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a corporate hustle, there's a street hustle, there's in between hustle even that people don't talk about. Yeah. And I think for the most part, you are conditioned by it. I mean, I grew up in the hood, bro. Yeah. It's like you said, like we didn't have. So I grew up skateboarding. I like shoes. I like clothes. So I got to figure out a way to do this stuff, right?
I'm gonna get that.
My step pops was a hustler. And then he also, bro, he bootlegged DVDs also.
Yeah,
you know
that.
So it was like we were in the crib. Yeah, we were in the crib, doing the thing.
Right.
So it's like some of that stuff is learned just by being in that environment.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
it has to be in you too, right?
Yeah.
But sales is a hustle, right?
Yeah.
That's a real hustle.
See, and that's where I was going to go, right? Because when you have the suburban kid whose dad is in sales, or even the CEO's kid, they pick up some of those traits from there.
I was just about to say that. Because my dad took me out the hood. He moved with my stepmom, and my stepmom is a fucking hustler. And so I grew up in the suburbs, but I saw the lives that they live, and I was like, I can't be less than this. You know what I'm saying? So the mentality was different. It's like, because I hear you guys hustling from like hurt, like, you know what I mean, from struggle. I never really struggled. My dad took me out of that struggle early as fuck. You feel me? But I learned, I was like, yo, I see the way you guys live and I see your lifestyle. I refuse to be anything less. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's an expectation now.
100%.
You know what I mean? So that expectation kind of drove me a little different. So I love hearing the different perspectives. Because I was like, once I saw my stepmom was a boss, bro. Like, I never met more of a boss. You know, my dad did well, but my stepmom was like, my dad was a charismatic person. I learned my personality from him, but I learned my hustle from my stepmom. You feel me? And I saw the way they live, and I was like, oh yeah, I can never. I have to get here. I would feel like a failure if I don't get here. But for everybody, for you guys, it's like, I have to get here. You feel me? It's like, I have no choice to get here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's an interesting perspective when you sit down and you look at it.
And you know, it's interesting because one thing I want to talk about is like, as you're growing up, you developed an expectation of where you have to be.
Yeah.
So what about the expectations like that they have for you?
Oh, it was like, you know, it was mainly sports. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, my dad wanted me to hoop. Like, I was good at hoop. Like, I was pretty good at hooping. You know what I'm saying? Like, my team was ranked. I was in ESPN. I was ranked on the West Coast. I was nominated for McDonald's All-American. And my dad always had hoop dreams. He just never, he lived vicariously. I can say that. I love you to death, Dad. But I can tell he lived vicariously through me. So I put a lot of pressure on me in that sense. And I was just naturally good. It wasn't something that, like, I wanted to go to the NBA like every kid. You know what I mean? It sounds great. You know what I mean? But I was like, I was just not that invested. Unlike my brother. My brother put in the work, got a scholarship, did his thing. But I just wasn't. It was like,
what's your thing?
Yeah, I was like, I'm just good at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I was like, I didn't know what the fuck I really wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I was like, because once I didn't get, I tried to play ball. I remember my senior year in college, my parents had spent all this money for me to play AAU and travel like hundreds of thousands of dollars, bro. Like every summer, bro. I was never home. Right. So I was always traveling to all the big camps and doing all these things. And I was getting looks and stuff like that. But then like my senior year was just something which is like, I just want to go to college and party. You know what I'm saying? I want to go to college and be a kid. You know what I mean? I never had conversations about anything but basketball with my father. You know what I'm saying? I could never talk to him about girls. I could never talk about, it was always education and basketball, Anything else I ever talked about was like not frowned upon, but we just couldn't have that open. We couldn't have the open dialogue. So I literally was like, you know what? I just want to go get drunk, have fun with my friends and, you know, talk to women and you know what I mean? And just be that. And then I applied for Oregon State. Didn't get accepted. I always wanted to go to ASU. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, this is hella expensive to go here. So I was like, if my dad's like, oh, you ain't playing basketball? You got to come out your own pocket. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, fuck. All right. So that's done. And so eventually what had happened was I didn't get accepted with Oregon State. And so I was like, fuck. I was like, what am I going to do now? I'm like, I'm not about to just get a job because I refuse to ever get a job because I don't like being told what to do, bro. I hate that shit. And so my boy had got a scholarship that was on my team to another a basketball team in Idaho. And so I was like, hey, bro, you think you can call the coach and see if I get like a tryout, you know, like a scrimmage or whatever? He's like, yeah. He goes, and so I did that, got a scholarship. I did good, played good. So then I had my scholarship. And then I went to college for NAIA school in Idaho. And all I did was party. I got kicked off my basketball team. You feel me? I got kicked off my basketball because he's like, we could tell you don't like, you're not taking this serious. I'm like, yeah, because I'm just good at fucking basketball, bro. I'm just naturally good at it. Yeah. But that's not what I wanted to do. And it wasn't until I got kicked on my basketball team, my parents were like, well, you can either go to school or you can get a job. I'm like, dude, fuck that. I'm not getting a job. You know what I mean? So my parents paid for my school. And then what did I do? I went to school, I never went to class because that's when I started modeling for Nike, and I was getting big checks. I'm like, bro, this motherfucking professor can't teach me. I'm making more money than you are right now. You feel me?
Teach me nothing.
Yeah, you can't teach me shit. And like at that point, I was making the money, so I was using the money to invest. And that's why I started my first clothing line. It was called Rebel Minds. And I was like, okay, bet I'm gonna take this money I'm making from modeling. I'm gonna reinvest in this. And so I wasn't missing any shoots because I was like, bro, I'm not missing $150 an hour for a week bookings. You know what I'm saying? Just to come sit here and public speak about shit I don't give a fuck about. And so then eventually I flunked out of fucking college. My professor, like, they have that grace period where you can you get one failure and then like we'll bring you back for another one. Yeah. Eventually my counselor called my mom's, bro. It was like, yo, like, I don't think this is for Terrell. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when I just stopped. And that's when I just had to figure it out. My parents was like, you're not moving back home. You know what I'm saying?
You can't come back.
Yeah, you can't come back home. You know what I'm saying? So you need to get a job. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get a job, bro. I'm just not going to do it. So I just, even when I wasn't making, I like put myself in a position to struggle, bro. It was like, I shouldn't have did that. I should have just got a job. But I was so against being told what to do. Yeah. And so from there, I was like, I just got to figure it the fuck out. I can't tell you how many years where I was fucking penny pinching, bro. I'm looking on the fucking floor. Even though I was modeling, that shit ain't all the time. No. You know what I mean? You get gigs, you get booked, but it's like, it slows down. You got big gaps. You get big checks and you get like, okay, bet I'm chilling. So some of those times, obviously, I was partying like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I was also trying to build my brand. And so I would like, when I was broke, bro, I would literally fucking like try to find like pennies and nickels and quarters on the ground just to get a fucking McChicken just so I could fucking eat type shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But just because I didn't, my fucking pride and my ego was like, bro, my pride and my ego was like, I'm never going to get a fucking job, bro. I'm not going to fucking do it. I don't give a fuck if I got a struggle right now. I'm not going to do it. And that's literally been my life since I was fucking 21 till then. And then, there's been times where I've been broke as shit. And there's been times where I've been broke as shit up. But I'm happy I went through that. I don't recommend it. Everybody I talk to always ask me like, bro, how do you do this? I'm like, bro, just stay at your job, gang.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. You got to be a certain type of motherfucker to do this shit because it is depressing and it's fucking lonely. I can't tell you. We already talked about this before. I wanted to take my own life a couple times, bro. I was sad as fuck, bro. I was depressed and it was dumb as fuck because I put myself in this position. It was something I could have easily but my pride and my ego was like, nah, bro.
Yeah, but you get a job to depression too.
Yeah, facts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I would have been told, I would have been told like, okay, bet you need to do this and that. I'm like, bro, like I fucking hate this shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's just interesting how like all that shaped me. And it's like, I should have got the job, but fucking, I just never did.
Man.
Yeah, no, you know what I mean? And I'm like, now I'm happy I went through that shit, but I don't recommend anybody to do that. If you get the fucking job, stack your bread and hustle on the side, bro, until that income can replace your income. We have social media nowadays. There's no excuse not to make fucking money now. You know what I mean? Like back in our day, we didn't have social media, bro. We didn't have Instagrams. We didn't have we were literally in that generation of the switch of like didn't have the opportunity to be seen like you can now. You know what I mean? With AI, with different fucking drop shipping, all types of shit, bro.
That's why we say that there's absolutely no excuse for you guys to not be making at least $10K a month, especially with all the tools out there.
Yeah, bro, there's no excuse.
I hear a whole lot of everything that you're saying, man, and it hits home heavy. In the aspect of, for example, my dad, we come from humble beginnings. My whole, at least from my dad's era, everybody there, I could say that we were poor. Mm-hmm. To the fact that some of my cousins, I want to say even like my father, they were 10 years old working the fields, helping my grandpa. Having shoes didn't come about until they were like 10, 12 years old kind of deal.
Yeah.
My dad became an immigrant and left home when he was like 22 with absolutely nobody to support him here in America.
Dang. Right, that's crazy.
And for example, the way I think about it is you say you were, and we say it here too, you are the byproduct of who you surround yourself with.
Absolutely.
And that's just facts. You had your dad. That was a good example. You had your stepmom. That was also a good example. With me, I had my dad. I was seeing this man trying to figure the fuck out how to feed 7 other mouths.
Yeah.
And trust me, like I remember going to school and then people coming up to me to tell me, and this man was even trying to give me a private education on top of that.
Yeah.
But I remember every single month they would come up to me to tell me that, hey, your father is behind. Hey, your father's behind.
Yeah.
Please remind them. And at the time, it didn't really like click too much.
Right.
But I knew that my dad was on that search for more.
Right.
And he was always the entrepreneur in the house, right? He was doing this thing, trying to figure the fuck out. And I remember my dad always telling me, son, we like the finer things in life, Therefore, because we're poor, we have to work triple harder than what we do.
Damn.
And I was like, okay. You talk about your dad, the only thing that you and your dad would talk about would be hooping, education. With my dad was always businesses and education.
So different.
Being able to identify the opportunities because of the necessity of feeding more people.
Right.
And making sure that
So
our family was taken care of.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's cool. So you see necessity. I see you and hear you speak about fuck getting a job.
Mm-hmm.
When I came here to the U.S., finally, when I was 14, 15 years old, my mentality was, how can I be less of a burden for my parents? And again, the respect towards my parents and how scared I was of my father, I always stayed within the boundaries of how to operate properly because of how afraid I was of making my parents feel ashamed of who I was. When I was 14, 15, my first job on the weekends was vacuuming cars on a car wash, bro.
Yeah, we spoke about that. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't know English for shit. All I knew was just a little bit of signs. I would
press this button.
Like, and that was it. And then my English got a little bit better, and then I started working at KFC. And I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one or two jobs I really enjoyed, the people I came across. But the majority, same thing. I had struggles because I knew I just wasn't specifically fit for some of the things that they would go do this. And I was like, well, I don't really want to. Well, either do this or you get fired. And it's like, well, fuck, I can't get fired because I need the money to help the family.
Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, like you're saying, either you do have to take someone's shit until you're able to build your own.
Yeah.
Or know that there's a huge risk behind it.
Yeah.
Because there's feast and famine.
Yeah, bro.
And you're going to be fucking tested.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
It's going to test your fucking grit. That's for damn sure, bro.
Bro, I'll tell you, obviously, growing up in New York, I remember, I'm a military background.
Okay.
I was in the military for 5 years. So prior to that, I was still living in the hood. I'm a lady. We had a baby on the way. I worked 3 different jobs, bro. I worked, and I didn't have a whip, bro. So I worked.
You was walking?
No,
Bus and
train.
Oh yeah, it's New York, nigga. What you mean? I knew that shit. My fault. Dumb shit.
You gotta get life.
Hey, you would think, right?
Straight up.
But this is the thing, right? I worked at a CVS on the other side of town. I think I made like $11 an hour there. Then I worked at a Rite Aid in the Bronx.
Yeah.
So I'd have to take like a 2.5 hour train ride every day to go work the overnight at Rite Aid for probably like another $12. And then I started working security in the city.
Oh, you was hustling?
I was hustling, but I remember at one point, bro, I looked around me.
What age was this?
I was 19, 20.
That was when you had when did you have your first kid?
20.
20, wow.
Yeah, I was young.
Wow.
High school sweetheart.
What about you? You said,
I had mine as a 30.
30?
Yeah.
Same. That's like my first shit.
And see, I remember one day, man, I looked around and I just saw that even though I was hustling and I had other odd things I would do to make bread, it just wasn't enough, bro.
Yeah.
And I realized I was in the same position that I was growing up, and I was about to provide that for my child.
Yeah.
I remember, bro, I broke down crying in the room, and I was just like, bro, this is not enough. And I called my mom, and me and my mom aren't really on the best terms all the time, but I just called her, bro, and I was like, yo, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not enough. What am I doing wrong? And I mean, this is what she brought me up in, so she can't really give me the best advice.
Right.
But it's like that was the point in my life where I was like, nah, like the hustle has to be bigger.
Right.
So then I did join the military because
That's when you went to the military after?
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it was like benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's the only reason to go to no offense to anybody serving.
Yeah.
It's the fucking benefits, dog.
It's the benefits. And it's like, for me, that was the hustle. And now I'm at a point where I'm making real good money. Like I don't have to struggle for anything, right? So fortunate enough for me, when it comes to like the online presence, I have enough time to be able to build that for myself because I have the backing. So it's to the point of like, bro, like I've lived both sides of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being dead broke, trying to scrape pennies together to make it, but then also being at this point where I'm comfortable in life. And I will tell you, absolutely, I agree. quitting your day job to go chase something when you can do both does not make sense.
It does not make sense.
That is a dark place to be in,
bro. It's a dark place to put yourself in, bro. Like I put myself in a dark place, bro. That's what's crazy. I look back and I'm like, nigga, you were stupid as fuck. Why you do that shit? You know what I'm saying? Just because my fucking pride. You know what I'm saying? My fucking pride.
But then you also hear stories like Jazzy's story. Like, man, you really pulled yourself up out of what I would assume is such a dark time for your life. Because you talk about the old Jazzy, like you don't really like that dude now.
No. You gotta say that's crazy. I'm actually going through. I should get a job.
Yeah?
Yeah. Fuck, my bank account goes negative. My bank account hasn't gone negative in like 20 years, maybe a little bit less. But yeah, now it goes negative like every other week. All my money's going to this restaurant building. So it's like, from everybody I've seen be successful in life, you have to walk a fine line of failure to be successful, and that's the only way it is. And I tiptoe every week on that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I think actually this morning my account went negative. I was like, oh, motherfucker. I was like, all right, well, I guess go put more in it.
Right.
But, yeah, man. I've had a job, which is crazy. I had a job since I was 11. I was used to be the kid on the corner flipping signs for new houses.
Yeah.
I had a summer job. I had everything, man. And then one day I realized that my mind, I guess I really didn't understand. I realized my mind didn't work like other people. I learned things really quick.
Yeah.
And then I was over it, right?
Yeah.
I was like, so how I got my name used to be Sean John. Thank God that just stick with me.
No, did he?
No, shit would have lasted great. Sean John used to be the kid who used to throw people through windows. Like I used to throw parties. Oh man, I had a party hustle. It was so good. I went to Mexico one time, and then I was like, you know what? I should throw a party. I made T-shirt. I made the most proper party you can at 18 years old. I made a bar. My boy's dad was a police sheriff, so he was always gone. So I made a bar out of his kitchen.
That's brave, bro.
I made signs for our Tampico used to have different flavor juices, like blue and green. So I went in, I was like, you know what? I don't drink beer, and beer is a waste because people just get the keg, tap it, and just waste it. I'm like, no, I'm making motherfuckers cocktails, right? Or drinks. So I get that. I made everybody shirts except Mexico Mesa. And I would charge girls $8 and guys $4. I charge girls more. I don't care. It's like, I don't care about that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It always worked out because
it's always the other way around.
No. I said, no, I'm going to take care of guys.
No, I see a science behind this.
Yeah. So it worked out. We always had the most girls, but I would be the bartender. I'd make everybody drinks. Yeah. And like, you have to finish your drink. And I would get pop off, and that was like one of my best hustles. I should have been a promoter, but I felt like it was beneath me to be a promoter. I was like, no.
I was there.
I got to own a club or something. But my next job was Sears, and that's how I got Jazzy, right? So I was like number 1, number 2 in the company. Our job was not to send a service guy out, right? I'm supposed to walk you through to fix your TV, and I was so good at like manipulating people into this. And so we had to work like one Saturday every month. And me, I'm young, I don't care. I don't know if you remember American Junkie around.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had a spot at the bar at American Junkie. I would sit and get fucked up. So I have to be at work at 6 a.m. Now it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm heading home, getting a pillow, changing, and I set an alarm. I went to work, and I slept underneath my table. I set 6 a.m. for 6 p.m. And now it's noon. I'm still asleep. And my managers are standing over me. They wake me up, and I'm like startled. I can't believe all these motherfuckers around me let me sleep. And I snored too half of the time.
Right.
They're like, no, he's let you sleep. We didn't care. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So they're yelling at me. They're cussing at me. I'm just looking. And then at the end, I smile. And I say, okay, do you want me to stay here or just go home? Because I can go back to bed right now. And they're like, what? I say, what you want me to do?
Right.
They would not fire me because I was so good. But I was so lazy at the same time because I was good at what I did. Just like you. And because once you conquer it, I'm just like, it wasn't challenging to me. So
bro.
This guy named Will, he was from New York. He's like, yo, I'm going to call you Jazzy. I said, what? He's like, you're always in a good mood. Nothing fazes you. And it just stuck. And it's like,
hell yeah.
Now when people call me Sean, I look around and I say, "Who's Sean?
Who's Sean?
It's like,
Who's that?
Who's Sean?" It's like, no, the feds call me Sean. And my mom, but like, or a girl, but no. Yeah.
That's so funny. I want to talk about that, because I'm lazy as hell. I ain't gonna lie. See, I tell people all the time, I'm so lazy that I'm motivated.
It's crazy.
I'm motivated to be, yeah, bro. That's like
your whole thing is motivation.
Yeah, but the gym, it's crazy. Fitness is easy. I've always been an athlete all my life. You know what I mean? So I try to tell people, I'm like, bro, this is in my DNA. Like, it's just kind of who I am. But like, I'm so lazy. Like, I want to be lazy, so I'm motivated to be lazy. I want to work hard so I can do nothing. I'd rather do nothing all fucking day. Like, I'm not one of these people that like, we talked about it, you know what I'm saying? We'll always want to hustle, but I'm like, bro, I don't want to do shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to sit on my ass, so I'm going to grind my fucking ass off and be motivated to grind just so I can sit and just do nothing. You know what I mean? So it's so funny that you said that, because I tell you all the time, people are like, for real? I'm like, yeah, bro, I'd rather sit and just chill all fucking day, bro, and just relax. You know what I mean?
Do you enjoy working out?
I love it. I can't go without it. I feel it's like a drug to me. You know what I mean? It's like something that like it's like a dopamine hit that like it just, when I'm done, I'm just like, bro, I feel better. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't work out, bro, I get depressed. I get depressed, bro.
We've talked about this, man. When has there been a time where you go to the gym, you had a dope ass workout, you walk out of the gym pissed? Like never.
Like we said, if it comes to that, you really did something piss me off.
Yeah.
Like, you really did something piss me off.
Yeah.
Facts.
Now, you talk about being lazy. I had an opportunity to interview or be part of a production for the owner of A1 Garage here in Arizona. I don't know if you guys have seen.
What's that guy's name?
Tommy Mello.
Oh, man. He used to smash this girl with my neighbor. This dude was, no, I'm not fixed.
I don't know if we're talking about the same dude, but
come out back. No, this is the guy whose face is on the...
Yes.
Oh, man, he's come outside drunk in the middle of the night. I go, yo, man, go back in the house. He's like, I was like, man, but he's a cool guy.
Good, I didn't know you knew him.
No, I didn't really know him. I was like...
You heard the stories.
Smacking the roommate. So we used to have like a trap house neighborhood. Okay. So my house was a trap house, right? Because I was trapping too. Yeah. But everybody lived in the neighborhood, and so he was like smashing one. There's so many girls and everybody. It's a small little kind of community, so everybody knew everybody. But yeah, he's come out drunk in the middle of the night. I mean, go back inside, man. But he's a cool guy. He's actually really intelligent. He did well for himself.
Yeah, very well for himself. Yeah. He says, I delegate the fuck out of everything. Yeah. So when it comes to business, I'll probably, more than likely, I'll win because I'll be able to delegate everything.
Yeah, you can outlast.
That's one of the things that I recognized. And now, as soon as I am able to systematize something, SOP, whatever the fuck, send it to the team, hands off, that's exactly what I'm doing, man.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you are at a place where you can, then what the fuck not?
Yeah, and I believe, honestly, the lazy people are the people that breed the most success. The reason why is you find so many other ways to not have to do something.
Yeah, that's me as fuck.
The hardworking people feel like they can wear all the hats. Yeah. And those are the people that experience the burnout.
I think Bill Gates was the one that said, I would rather hire the lazy person because they'll find the quickest way to do it faster.
Yeah, 100%.
That's your kryptonite too. That's
I would agree. I was about to say
I find any way not to like.
Yeah, bro.
Even in school, I figure out how many classes I can fail. I was really good at math, and I was like, well, I don't even have to go to class no more. After 10th grade, I stopped doing math. I didn't go to math. I didn't even go to sports. I would skip PE, and I was good in track.
Yeah,
but I would go to track meets because that's where you meet all the girls from other schools. So you got to show them track meet. But yeah, I would find that's my like kryptonite in me. Like I find the easiest way around things. Yeah, not to do them. But it does benefit you. You have to figure out the balance.
There's a balance. You got to find a balance.
Because you can't wait till the last minute for everything.
No,
my life is.
I'm there with you, bro.
My life is last minute.
There's certain things you got to look at that and be like, I can't do that in 20 minutes, dog.
I was up at 4 a.m. and I got here exactly on time, right?
Yeah.
And I was sitting there on the bed. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna leave here at 9:47. We go meet this nigga. When I could have been here an hour early. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna chill.
Yeah.
There's something about it, but I need to get better at it. It's a real thing. My guy, his name's Freddie. He owned Hash Kitchens, and they just actually opened that pizza shop called. Do you see that fucking pizza?
Yes. You're talking about the Strand pizza?
Yeah. Him and Strat. No, this shit was like 10,000 people for their opening. It was fucking wild.
All the exotics.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I think I saw that on Instagram, I think.
Yeah. Make that happen.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
This guy he's a good friend and a mentor where he does 1,000 things at a time, and he does nothing. Yeah. He finds all the right people to do it. And like one of my best friends who's like my mentor, his name's on Instagram, he's like Sweatpants Millionaire. This guy he's the most busiest person who fucking texts me back, picks up the phone. One time I needed $25,000.
Yeah.
And it's not like, it's crazy as you get older, the amount of money. If somebody asked me for $100, I would give them $25K faster. I would give somebody $25K faster. I give them $100.
Interesting.
I'm like, I'll just give you the $100, but you want to borrow it? Like, no. So I called him up. I say, hey, look, my guy, like, I have shit going on with my partner. I got to pay rent. I got shit to do with this building. I need 25 grand. I could ask him for 100 grand. Yeah. He's like, while we're on the phone, I already had a check in my email from this guy. Mm-hmm. Like, why he's at the airport. He's like, okay, you got a check. It's already there. I said, this is how quick he moves on things. Like, he's very inspirational how I want to have my mind work. It's like, this guy will fail 10 times before I'm successful one time. One day somebody brought it up. Freddie asked, he's like, why are people always reposting everything you do? I said, I don't know, man. They repost your flights. Like, what are we eating when I eat? Like I sit in business or first class, my espresso martinis, my gin and tonics. Yeah, bro. There's always just something I do.
Yeah. That's real influence right there.
Kicks of the day. Mm-hmm. I used to my kicks of the day, and then everybody started tagging me, and it's just like something I said, okay. He's like, look, it's very organic because you're not pushing on people. You're just being your original self. I got a little bit of liquor in my system. I try to drink once a week. And so I was drinking on Saturday, and I was like, you know what? Somebody told me, let me ask him, is my territory still here for Glow? So I hit him up. He's like, oh, I don't know. I have to ask them. It's gone. Now I'm pissed off at him.
All right.
And this girl I'm talking to had to calm me down, and she's like, what are you like upset about? I was like, well, we have a friend group, and all our friends have Glows, right? We're like, I have a core group of black friends who live in Dallas, which I didn't really have black friends growing up. They're all Nigerian, but we just work together, right? And so everybody has a Glow, and I felt like I should get a Glow.
Glow is a tanning bed.
It's a tanning.
Yeah, it's a tanning.
So I want to actually get it for my baby mama. I want to set her up. I want to get them for both my baby mamas so they can run them and have money, right? I don't have to pay child support no more. Business, right? We're gone. But she's like, okay, out of your friend group, who can actually build the business? And I was like, honestly, Ani and this guy named Austin. Other than that, nobody else can build a business. So she's like, why do you want to Glow? I was like, just because I want to feel included in the group. Because we do events and shit. I go, but I don't have my own thing. So I felt like I wasn't included in the group. She's like, you have the mindset and ability to build your own concepts. So why do you need to worry about somebody else's business? And I text him literally 2 days later, and I text him randomly. I say, hey, yo, I was actually mad at you. I didn't even say nothing because we were just talking like normal in the group chat. We talk all day long in the group chat. Yeah. And I say, hey, I want to let you know I was mad at you because I was upset. He's like, I felt like that because you didn't respond. And I was like, yeah, I was upset with you. But then I had this girl remind me, who's been super cool. I've been chilling with her for a minute. And she had to remind me that I don't need a Glow. Like, I just want to feel inclusive, like included in the group, that I can build 10 brands in my mind right now that are successful, and nobody else in the group can do it except for me and you. He's like, you're right. He's like, you don't need a Glow. You have your own shit going on. You should like focus on your thing. So, but him, I strive to be like very productive, like him. Or I just hire somebody who can who can be an Ani.
No, facts.
Yeah, but you know, to speak to the beauty of that relationship you guys have, where you can be upset and still come back. Yeah, it's gonna be very honest. And even like the way you speak of your relationship tells me, like, even if he saw this and he'd be like, he wouldn't be upset. You know what I mean?
Oh man, you see this group chat? I had the hardest upbringing of anybody in the group. I had to struggle. Listen, I slept in the park and went to school for weeks. I didn't tell people, and like slept on couches, like halfway houses. Didn't tell people. We shoot shots at people. If you shoot a shot at me, like talking shit, like just joking around, I'm going for the jugular.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say you better be ready.
Yeah, like my boy texted me aside. He's like, dog, come on, you don't have to do like that. I was like, no. I'm very defensive, man. Like, I had to learn this year not to be that guy where I'm like, okay, they're just joking, but I'm joking, but I go for like the kill. Yeah. That's just that's my mentality. So that's why like I transitioned from old Jazzy would be like,
I love that.
So would kill you in a fight. Me, I'm just like, nah, man, we're good. Unless you put your hands on me. If I see red, hopefully you're bigger than me because the only enemy is death in my mind.
Right.
So, and I had learned that in fucking jail too. So I was like, it's just my mindset.
It's cool. It's cool, that mentorship. Go ahead.
I want to ask, because that's something that I struggle with. And it might be just an East Coast thing, bro. But it might be an East Coast.
It is, because you speak your mind. Like,
And it's like, I'm the same way. Like, if we joking, like, I'm a joke, but I know I joke tougher than everybody else. And I know I'm willing to go there, and I'm willing to accept what comes with it.
You want to go there? Like,
I'm willing to go there. And I'll tell you, can ask my friends, bro. They'll be like, hey, just leave him alone because he going to go first.
It's an East Coast thing because we speak our mind. And I think people in the West, they're like, people in the West Coast are like, they're like nice, but they don't speak their mind. Like,
East Coast is different.
Yeah. When I'm in the corner store and motherfuckers cussing at me, we're good. Like, he's like, what the fuck you want? I'm like, give me what I need. Let's go. Like, but it's all respect.
It's so funny to hear you guys talk about that because it's the exact same thing, right? Like over there in Costa Rica, you're walking down fucked up street, whatever, you're making yourself to the corner store and you hear like the crackhead in the corner like talking shit to you or something. And like,
you don't take it personal.
Yeah, not only that, it's like you're not afraid of them. That's the thing is like if you're going to start roasting, like you better fucking get ready for it.
Yeah, facts.
We're not stopping.
Yeah,
it's so fun. It's funny, man.
Nothing's off limits on me.
I've got a huge family, and in my family, everybody know everybody business. Yeah. So if you about to start talking shit, you already know that they gonna have something like, oh yeah. So like, bro. My one aunt had 8 kids. My uncle had like 13, bro.
Oh shit!
God damn.
You know what I'm saying? So like we got a big family. So
family, procreating.
That's what I'm saying. Family reunions and all that. Like, and my cousins are way more ruthless than me. I'm the nice one. I'm the nice one.
You know, in my family, my Mexican side of the family, we say we keep the bullying internal.
Yeah.
So we prep you guys internally and then off to the world. So,
and that's what I tell my friends too. I'm like, hey. The one thing you'll know is I'll prepare you for the world. Yeah. After you're done with me, there is nothing that anyone can say.
I'm humble you real quick. I keep a lot of shit in the chamber, a lot of dirt. I don't bring up to people just in case you say something to me real quick.
Right. No, that's.
But I wanted to ask, like, how did you come to the point? I know you talked about the Buddhism and stuff, but how did you come to the point to where you can start controlling that?
You know what? It was I was fighting in jail. Okay, so. One of the times I went to jail, I had no money, right? All right, so I'm leaving the party. This 5:30 in the morning. I'm in a Santa outfit, probably on cocaine, like driving like a dumbass to my house in PV. But I'm paying attention to my surroundings, and I see G whatever. I'm like, oh, there's a bunch of like government undercover vehicle. That's crazy.
Yeah,
what the fuck's going on? So I'm like, let me hit this back road to get home, and then I get a call on my phone. And it's like, hey, it was no number, right? And it was like, hey, this is Officer such and such. I'm looking for Jazzy. I said, what's good? He's like, oh, you may have witnessed a fight last night between a guy and a girl at this spot. I said, no, the fuck I didn't. I was like, what do you want? He's like, hey, I'm behind you. I need you to pull over. I said, I am not pulling over, man. What are you talking about? He's like, no, I need you to pull over. The truck's behind me, but there's no lights on. Yeah. I'm not pulling over, my guy.
Hell no.
So I still keep him on the phone. I was like, hey, if you're a cop, you can follow me to my house, right? He's like, no, I'm not following you. I was like, you're going to have to follow me because I'm not pulling over. So I drive to my crib. There's already a truck there. And the other truck who was around me got to my crib first, and they pulled in. But they took me to jail, and I had no money, no phone number, no nothing, right? So I'm just fending for myself, which is crazy to think about because you're guilty until proven innocent. But I was guilty. I was on camera. They put me in an interrogation room. I saw the video footage. I was like, oh, man, okay. He's like, is that you? I was like, I don't know. Clear as day, me. Like, but whatever. So when I'm there, I don't eat peanut butter. I'm stubborn. So I'm not eating peanut butter. I'm starving, right? I'm only eating oranges and drinking the juices. And so some dude's like, yo, like, this has kind of made me resent my people for a little bit. So he's like, we fight at the end of the night and we bet. I was like, okay, what do you mean? He's like, oh, we just throw everything in. You keep. So we throw all the snacks in. They bet. I don't know how many pieces it was, maybe 30 or 40 pieces. We bet, and then you take 20% of your winnings. I said, oh, okay. So you strip down. I strip down, go in the shower, and fight somebody for another race.
Yeah.
That humbled me real quick. Never lost, but something just clicked in my head that I had that, like, I'm in here fighting for my life. Not fighting, well, technically I am, because
Yeah. You never.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But at the end, it was all respect. But like, yeah, I'm in here fighting for my life just to eat. And it's because I'm just doing dumb shit. And I'm just like, I put myself in this position and I need to figure it out. And man, another story to that. I was so good. Okay, so I didn't eat for a week so I could stack up all the money all the food, which is money, I was making. Then I realized the next day, as I'm doing this, people are like loaning out to people. I was like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I gave him a bag of chips. He owes me 2. I said, oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to eat for 3 weeks now. I'm barely eat. So I started loaning out everything I won. And then by like week 4, I became the store in jail. Listen, if I could tell you, I had almost $1,200 of shit in a bag in the corner in my cell. And I became like, so I came to the store. And then
The hustle's insane.
oh man,
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, you're a natural hustler, dog.
I was raised by part of my time was raised by a Mexican family who took me in. He's like my brother now. But so I would see like the Mexicans, they would like there's I guess the Paisas and the whatever it is, but 2 different types of Mexicans. And they would throw everything together in a pile and have their dinner at night. And so I was trying to get all the black people together. So the first time I did it, it was all me. Next time it was all me, and I was like, okay, these niggas don't care about me. So I was like, I went downstairs, started eating with the Mexicans. And then I would come to my cell, he's like, you know what's going to happen to you? I said, listen, I'm like, you just saw me whoop 10 niggas' asses. Like, you think you have an option to whoop my ass? And we're in a pod, so you can't even get a weapon in this motherfucker. So it's just me and you, motherfucker. So, so after that, I realized, like, I need to, like, figure something out. I'm like, this anger, and I would have the anger during the fight, like, and I had to calm myself down, like, oh, look, I'm just fighting for food. But yeah, that like switched my mindset, and that made me leave to go like to Bali and like find peace, because that experience in my life was like treacherous. I was like, I'm never coming back here to this motherfucker again. Like, they'll never see me again.
Dude, I didn't know what to expect walking into this, but you've got so many stories that I've had so many realizations in my own life.
You feel me?
You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, you are basically the most interesting man in the world.
Are you 100%. 100%.
Listen, we got to call Dos Equis.
I may be the fastest person ever to, it feels like it's cocky, but I may be the fastest person ever to be released from jail. So my brother, which the Mexican side, I call my brother, he came in. I didn't know anybody was coming in for me, but a bunch of people wrote letters on my behalf. He came in crying, like pleading for me to be released, because they're like, oh, no, we're going to give this nigga 2 years and then some more time after our probation. She's like, look, I see that people love you and you just made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to let you go. But there's a processing. They take you back to jail, and you get processed out in like 72 hours, whatever it is. I said, hey, or whatever it is. I said, hey, can you let me go on Monday? It was like, that's another week later.
Yeah.
She's like, what? I said, Monday. She's like, why? I was like, listen, it sounds crazy, but people owe me a lot, and I can't leave here like with that. Like, cause when it get out,
That
they're
is
see me,
fucking
right?
crazy.
Yeah, you can't get over on me, right?
Yeah.
Like, collect all my shit.
Yeah.
She's like, you're not going back there. I said, what? They took me straight from court to be processed out, fingerprinted, got me out of there.
Hey,
And somebody's like, that never happens.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you're not going back to that environment. I was like, no, I don't care. I'll go in there for another year. No, sorry, not another year, another week, because they
what my
owe
shit.
me. Because I'm going to see these niggas on the outside. Like, I've run into these people. I was like, no, you can't leave out here owing me. Like, no. My
See,
husband.
that's a hustler.
I'm very intrigued, man.
Yeah. Same.
From all the making the wrong moves, being with the wrong crowd, ending up multiple times in jail. How the fuck does Jazzy turn his life around, finding himself now in circles where now he's part of restaurant chains and opening his own or building his own ideas. And how do you get hooked up on that high level? And sure, some people are going to say, oh, well, he used to slang drugs. He probably created good high-end relationships with.
Dead ass.
So, I mean, it could be that. So why don't you just like tap into it? And how did you turn it around the right way?
Well, honestly, it really was drugs. And I had rules. I treated it like a business. I never understood. I was like this little black kid who couldn't dress in like 9th and 10th grade. Yeah. But I was hanging out with seniors and shit. So people were just drawn to my aura. And so, I guess I can honestly say like selling drugs got me into like relationships that like I'm cool with the people, but then gradually I separated myself from those people.
So how are you able to successfully separate, or were you able to separate that image, being known for doing that?
I still probably had that image, right? And we'd be in the same room talking about marketing strategies, and nobody would listen to me. And I would be like, who's the only one with money here? And they'd be like, what? I was like, who's the only one with money? They're like, well, yeah, you sell drugs, but it's a business. Like, I know how to market myself properly. Like, I'm not telling you anything crazy to do anything, and they would fail. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm good. And they fail. I fight demons every day. I fight depression. I had to like, I think in February, I fought depression for like 3 months. This went hermit, and I had to like, I flipped out on a friend, and I knew that it wasn't him. It was everything going on in my life, and that everything wasn't working out, and everything was up and down. But once I get to that point, but I think mental health is a real thing. We just don't ever really pay attention to it. But when you're alone in your room, that shit's, oh man, like
that shit is different, boy.
Do I even need to be here? Like
you're solo in that room.
That shit hits different, bro.
So while we're on that, what keeps you grounded? What brings you back?
Ooh, brings you back. Friends, you know what? People. I think people I have really core group of friends I've curated, where some are really close that are like my brother. Like, will check on me, will fly out. Listen, the last time I went through depression, one of my best friends passed away, right? This is 2 years ago on my son's birthday. I was in India. Fucking, I hate India. I was in India on the plane. I get a call. He's like, oh, his brother calls me. He's like, hey, Jared's gone. I said, gone where? He's like, gone. I said, oh no. I flipped the fuck out, got off the plane. They wouldn't let me, because I didn't have a visa for India. Once I got off the plane, they wouldn't let me just go straight to another gate and book. I booked the flight to New York. I was like, oh, there's a flight leaving 2 hours from New York. I booked it. They wouldn't let me on. They detained me in India for like 15 hours because they're like, no, you got to go to Dubai. I said, what the fuck? I flipped the fuck out. So I'm in India in this airport for fucking 15 hours waiting for the next flight. And then this is my best friend. I used to call this guy all the time. Like that friendship where it's kind of like girly, but not really. Like we buy each other kicks. Like we buy each other gifts. Like I was thinking about you, my guy. Yeah, like I still have like Birkenstocks he brought me. I will never get rid of. Or we just sit on FaceTime when he's at work. I'm just chilling at home. Like on his days off, we hang out. So he was like a brother. And then once I lost that, I was like lost. And so I was in the house after that. And then it was my son's birthday, which is even worse. So after that happened, I was like, man, I want to kill myself. Like, this is crazy. So I was like, you know what makes me happy? Like traveling. So I hit up my friends. I said, hey, look, I'm going to go ghost for a while. I'm hopping the flight. I left to Australia. And I left for like, I think 60-something days. I was like in Tokyo by the time. I think I hit like 15 countries. I was just going through and not talking to nobody. My friends flew to Tokyo to find me, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
So after that, I was like, man, I have like a really good group of friends who got me locked down. Who would fly to Tokyo?
That's love.
Like, yo, I got your location. I'm coming to Tokyo.
That's love.
I said, I just text, okay, whatever. And then fucking 2 days later, they're in Tokyo, like just chilling with me. So I was like, okay, these are like the people I need in my life for the rest of my life. So
yeah, bro,
that's important.
that's insane. And we obviously see your version.
Yeah, no, bro, you're good, bro. Let it out, bro. I love that shit.
So
We've done the same.
Yeah, we're big proponents for mental health here, bro.
Okay.
We talk about it all the time because we've all gone through all strong battles.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've lost many people to it. I've been in those dark places. We all have. So this is a safe space for women, bro. For everybody, bro. So if you got to let one
yeah, man. Painful part of my life.
Yeah, bro.
Makes you stronger.
We're glad you're here, bro.
It makes you stronger. Yeah.
We're glad you're here, bro.
Yeah,
your story is amazing, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a blessing. You know what I mean? It's like, you remind me of like, you're going to be like little baby. That ass. That's what you remind me. The first time I was like, when you tell you here and you talk, I'm like, bro, this is little baby right here. Little baby's making it. So I think like in your future endeavors, like in what you're doing, bro, you're going to be so successful, bro. Because your mindset is, bro, it's beautiful, bro. You know what I mean? Like you take hard things and you make the most out of it. You know what I mean? And not many people can do that. I don't know many people who can do what you've done and still walk out of it and still be here today. Yeah. So, you know, it's a testament to you and who you are as a person, bro, because there's a reason why people gravitate towards you, bro. That's a hell of a gift, bro. That is a hell of a gift, bro. Not many people have that gift. So we're happy you're here, bro.
I appreciate it. My grandma told me that before she passed away. Listen, that old school, like, as you talk about your grandmother, that old school, like, grandmother kind of vibe, I think is like, it sucks. I think it's dead. Like
it is,
and it sucks.
Yeah, like, my grandma was stubborn as fuck,
bro. Yeah, it's not the same anymore. My grandmother, I didn't know how important my grandmother was, and when she passed away, the church was so huge that there was still a line of people outside. I didn't comprehend this, how important she was to the community.
Yeah, bro. And
I don't know if that's like it still happens. I think it's gone.
I think it's gone too.
The generation is gone. So
how important was your grandmother to you, man?
Man, my grandma used to tell me I can tell the future. And actually, the crazy part is I can tell the future in my dreams. I've had vivid dreams that I still remember, and I try to write them down about things that happened in my life. Like I had a dream about I was on this random couch in this house with a bunch of kids I never knew. And I had this dream when I was like 12. And I was on the couch with this girl who had my Jordan shorts on, and I'm like fingering her. A white dream, right? This little white girl. I was like, what the fuck is that? So fast forward, say I'm 14 or 15 now. So in this dream, the next day, I drink Robitussin. I take Robitussin. I don't know why. I go to a CVS to steal Robitussin in this dream.
Robo-tripping?
Yeah, Robo-trip. Kids don't even know about that.
No.
Yeah, man. So fast forward years later, I am on this couch with this girl in my black Jordan shorts, and I'm fingering this little white girl. And then next day, I'm on a robo-trip, and I punch a hole in the wall in this group home. I didn't realize it was a group home I was in this story. And then when I was in that home, I had a dream about my father. I saw my father as a child, but I didn't remember what he looked like. So I had a dream that I was coming down an escalator in an airport, and this guy had a red shirt on, and he was like big bald-headed guy. And I said, "Hey, you're my father?" He's like, "How did you know?" I was like, "I just felt that vibe." And now I'm like 16, 17, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to send you to your father." And that literally exactly happened, which is crazy. Like,
yeah.
I keep having vivid dreams of like the future, so I know I'm gonna be good.
Yeah,
it's all positive.
Absolutely.
And so, my grandma used to tell me these things. I never really paid attention, and I think my grandma still, like to this day, watches over me because.
Agreed.
Have you encountered any dreams that you're scared the fuck out of them?
No, not at all.
Not bad energies.
Never bad energy. I'm just a positive person. I don't believe in like demons. I don't believe in anything like that. So I don't get that. But yeah, nothing ever like everything's. I try to just spew positivity, which is crazy. Bro. Even though it seems like I'm a negative person when I don't talk, but like I just always see like when I travel somewhere and some shit pops off, I'm like it always works itself out. My slogan in life, it always works itself out. Every time like something happens or I'm this restaurant, I've been working on this concept. I'm almost lost this motherfucker 12 times. Like, couldn't pay the rent. Like, they kicked me out. They put a sign on the door. And I always, like, I call one of my best friends and I tell him what's going on. He's like, you say it always works out. Works out. Yeah. I walked in that motherfucker yesterday. I was like, look, it always just works itself out and to me. And if it doesn't, it wasn't meant to be, right? So anything negative could happen in the world. I think the only thing worse would be, like, my son's passing away, but nothing can faze me right now. So you lose a leg and be like, listen, we'll figure it out. Right. So yeah, always works itself out. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna die by that.
Hey, man. Hey, bro, we all got to have our own slogan. Hell yeah. Everything always works itself out.
I'm that same way. I panic for a quick second.
Yeah, you always gotta be
Yeah, then you got to bring yourself back together, because I always say, man, nothing's ever fixed in the tears, right? It's like, well, when you have that emotional state, you live in that for a moment and accept that, right? Yeah, but you got to get to work.
You got to feel it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like people who avoid it.
No.
You got to, not saying I don't like people who avoid it. I'm saying, like, as humans, we got to feel things. If we don't feel them, we can never face them. Yeah. You feel me? And until we face them, that's when we can work on ourselves to become better. You know what I mean? It's just like if we try to avoid these things, bro, that's what puts us in a deeper, darker state. So like like you said, I've had my times where I'm just like, bro, I gotta feel this shit. I can't try to avoid it. I just gotta feel it. I gotta feel it. And I gotta work on how I can be better. So I agree.
No, I admire you guys because now I do a whole lot better. But realistically, I suffer. I'm like fucking Doctor Strange with like the 1,000 scenarios going at the same time, like at multiple times. That's me. And as a business owner, one of the issues that I used to have all the time was, what if I lose a client? Mm-hmm. And then you lose one. And you're like, fuck, where's the next one going to come from? Sure, lead generation and all this shit you hear about. But I mean, like, it's not as easy as just like, oh yeah, let's turn it on and let's get whatever. Like there's a skill that you need to build. And for me, just throughout everything, my kids, like, fuck, what my kid would get sick and then boom, 1,000 scenarios would pop.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I want to say maybe just realistically, if I have to give someone a shout out, that would be my wife, man, because she carries the same aura as you guys. Very, very calm. Yeah. Very like it's going to work itself out. Or at least she has empowered me enough to believe that I am more than capable to be able to handle pretty much any situation that comes our way.
Having a wife, do you think that's benefited you as far as being more successful in life?
Having the right partner has elevated me 100%, like without a doubt. And not only that is my kids. I could have decided to just be a bum. Stay low level or just worry about me. But I got lucky. I dated many years. I stayed single for many years because of the same bullshit. And when I encountered my wife, it was just literally everything that I was looking for. Straight to the point, man. Like, and it's just a quick story. My wife was my neighbor. Okay. I met her randomly.
I love that. I love that it wasn't on social media.
No.
I love that it was like a real.
We did start like chatting on social media, but like I invited her to go have a coffee with me and all of that. She was supposed to only be here for 6 months. She was visiting a cousin from Colombia, and her visa was about expired. And I told her, let it expire and you fucking stay. And she did. 6 months later, she was pregnant. After that, when the baby, I don't know, a couple of months after, I proposed to her, and we've been together for nearly 10 years, man.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Congrats to that, man.
Thanks, man. But it's a journey. There is this misconception where people believe that it would always be perfect. And you as a man, you have to compromise. And you as a female, you also have to compromise. Yeah. Because, men, if you want your girl to step into that whole feminine aspect, you need to be able to give her that safety.
Yeah.
Because if you allow other energies to come in between, if you're not a provider, and then you have expectations on top of that, it ain't gonna work out. You have to show up as a man. If you have demands as a man, then you better be fucking paying for absolutely everything in the household. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But I don't think we were taught that. Like, I don't know about your mom growing up, but I mean, my mom wasn't feminine. My mom was
no, my mom was.
Yeah.
My mom made more money than my dad. My stepmom made more money than my dad. She was the boss, bro. Like,
yeah. I feel like this feminine era it's cool and I love it, but I was like, my mom growing up wasn't in her feminine era. She was like, the head of the household, like she had to do everything.
But because she had to.
Yeah.
Right. So, you've mentioned that your father figure wasn't there.
Yeah.
And for example, look at it in my household. The situation would happen. my mother is the same thing. My mom is the rock.
Yeah.
Like it's her way or there is no fucking way. And it didn't matter. And maybe my dad at the time wasn't empowered enough to provide as he should.
Yeah.
But there was nothing missing. You know what I mean? There was never a lack of anything, but rather stubbornness from my mom.
Yeah.
So when I say it, and this is not a new era, I get it. Like some mothers out there, they had to do it because they had no other choice.
Yeah.
Because it's circling back to men not stepping to the roles the way they're supposed to. Therefore, years later, now what we see is a lack of leadership. We see people just like fucking around and find out, and there's no coincidence that marriage is at a 50% divorce rate.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's interesting because I think we see a lot more of that now in women, and I love it to a degree because even like being a girl dad, I love the independence. I love women being able to provide for themselves, women to be able to take advantage of opportunities that weren't there before. And, you know, I look forward to the future where women do have more positioning because even if you look at tech fields right now, women get paid more than men in a lot of tech fields, right? But I think about my childhood and like Jazzy, bro, like my mom was very masculine, still is, very independent, single woman, don't need no man. And, you know, there were men in and out of our lives, and I learned different things from each of them. Yeah. But no matter what they brought to the household, she was still dominant. Yeah. She was still masculine. I saw it to a detriment because it ran a lot of people off, you know. So I think this notion that this is a new thing and independence in women is a new thing is kind of, it falls on deaf ears for me. Yeah. Because the women in my family are all like that. And they will all, for lack of a better term, they'd rather starve than to take from a man that they felt wasn't valuable.
You think that's an East Coast thing then, more or less?
I think so, but my family's black and Puerto Rican.
Or black women.
Yeah. Like, you know.
Listen, the hardest position to ever be is a black woman, right? In America, right? So I wonder, because I want to help a woman be in her feminine era, but at the same time, I want a partner who's independent. And
but see, that's exactly what I mean. And I don't want it to be, I don't want the misconception to be,
either
not.
or.
Like, exactly.
It's whatever works for you, bro.
You know what I mean? Yeah. For example, like, I'm very sure if someone comes in the right way, for example, Jazzy comes into a relationship, it's like, babe, don't trip. Money is not a factor. Like it's not something we need to worry about. Yeah. Realistically, there isn't a necessity for her to go out there and be a boss and like this and that in the way of providing for the household. Yeah. Be a boss, taking care of the household. It's like I walked in and the nanny setting plays and like the kids are in their activities and like, babe, don't trip. Like all of your meal preps from the gym, they're already stocked up and the clothes, everything is looking right. You see what I mean? Like be a boss about it, support you in that way. Marriage is not a competition. Yeah. And if you marry a boss, it's not a matter of like who's doing better or who's not. No. It's about like complementing each other and being realistic. A man is going to be a man, and all we're searching is to be given our position and respect. Yeah. Because if you as a female, you are not able to respect your man as the provider of the household, shit is not going to work out. And that's just what it is.
That's true. Yeah. And I just think, obviously, like you said, it depends on your situation and what works best, right? Yeah. Like I've always been the type. I saw something once, it was like, what it say? It said women maintain who they are, men change for the relationship. Yeah. Right? And that's kind of how I've always been. Because when I walk into a relationship, 9 times out of 10, because my career field and the things that I do, I'm probably going to be the higher earner in the relationship. Now, if you earn more than me, I don't have a problem with that. But I know where I'm at most times in the relationship, right? So I'm ready and willing to provide whatever you tell me you want. You know? So it's like if you want to be a stay-at-home mom type situation, then cool, we're going to make that happen. You know, if you want to hustle, earn your own and do your own thing, cool, we're going to make that happen. But I don't believe in the quote unquote like nuclear family, like general terms of what's masculine and what's not. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that might not be what makes somebody happy. So you've got to be adaptable to what your situation is. And really, I'm going to be quite blunt. I don't give a fuck what the internet or the world tells me is or is not, or what I do or don't have to do. That has no reign in my household.
Yeah.
Whatever fits here is what fits. And point blank, that's it.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, whatever fits. That's what I think. Whatever role works for you guys, that's what's important. You know what I mean? We can give all these standards of what it looks like or what it should be. It doesn't work for everybody. You know what I mean? You know, if people are going to find people who fit their role and they're going to come together, if they're successful, I don't give a damn. You know what I mean?
Everybody's situation.
That's all that matters. Right. Everybody's different. People's mentalities are different. You know, people want different things. And so it's like, I can't really give like a set, like, hey, it needs to be this way. Like, nah, bro, like it's 2025, man. It's an opportunity. Like, women aren't just sitting at home fucking just doing dishes and doing laundry all the time. But like they have opportunities to make fucking a hell of a lot of bread. Like back in the day, it was a little bit different because there wasn't as many opportunities. Now we got the fucking internet, bro. Yeah. You can be anything you fucking want, bro. You can build a fucking eyelash brand or whatever, you know, nail brand at the split of a finger. Like, girl, go do your fucking thug thizzle, girl. Shit. But, you know, I just don't want, it comes to a point when people start overpowering one another. Like, hey, I do this. I think it comes, there's definitely a compromise that has to be. Yeah, you got to be a team. You know what I mean?
So exactly, right?
You got to understand.
Exactly.
You got to understand each other. You got to understand. You do have to come to a compromise in certain, because that's, you know, we're all different. You know, no one person is the same. So, okay, bet there's boundaries, bro. It's communication. It's communication, bro.
Self-awareness.
Yeah, self-awareness and communication. Those are the three things that are two things that are most important.
When I say self-awareness, I don't mean it just like yourself. It's self-awareness for you
and your partner
or your partner.
Yes.
Because trust me, while I hear you that there's tons of things that you could do, and girl, you could get busy and all of that. The reality is, not everybody is wired to be an entrepreneur.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So that's what I'm saying is
100%.
Self-awareness. If you are in a relationship where your girl is a boss and she wants to do, then you as a man, you better be empowering her ass.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because if you are the kind of cat that now you're just afraid that maybe she's going to be making more money than me and all of that, guy, I'm telling you, that's a fucking, you need to step the fuck up.
Yeah, bro, you got to like chill out.
My girl to make more money than
you
me.
feel me? Like, girl, you hustle shit. I like that. I like that.
Listen, this girl I started talking to, super dope. And I didn't think I was going to like her, but she got me real good. She said, simple word. I was like, hey, I show my love, like, we travel. Like, I'm never going to buy you purses and material, but I'll take you on a trip wherever you want to go around the world, right? Because I love traveling. But I was like, hey, your birthday's coming up. We should do something. But I was like, hey, I'm totally honest. Money's tight. So I could figure something else out. She's like, how about we just stay in this, do dinner in town? I was like, no, I really need a beach. I have not been on a trip anywhere all year. She's like, okay, whatever you decide. She's like, just let me know how much the flights are. I'll send you money. I said, it's your birthday. I got it. But the fact that you offered, it's all I care about, the type of person you are. It's like, no, she's like, no, I like you. I was like, I want to help out. And I know that you're struggling right now and you're trying to get your shit together. So I was like, okay, you got me.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. I love that.
Like,
and I think, you know what, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think a lot of men think that there aren't women out there like that, bro. Like there is, bro. You know what I'm saying? You have to be in a certain position to attract that type of woman too. You feel me?
Yeah, those women are inside.
Yeah,
they are. They are.
Women are inside.
You say that?
Yeah. You want the shorty that's shaking ass in the club.
No.
She is not, she don't got you when you're down.
Yeah.
Because if you got her with money, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, fact.
I get to her through her DMs because she be inside because she's a nurse.
Yeah.
I hit her with, man, my opening was, I said, what was it? What's the best way to slide in somebody's DM? Or sorry, I said, what's the best way to slide in somebody's DM? I'm a newbie.
Oh, that's game.
Got her, hit me back.
Okay. She laughed. I know she laughed.
I hit two people with that. The other one didn't come off well. The girl's like, oh, tell me a joke. I said, okay. I was drunk at the time. I said, is your mom retarded? She said, God. Yes. She's like, I knew you're stupid beautiful. No response.
Bro, Jazzy is so honest, bro.
No response. Yeah, well, that worked out.
I love it.
That is fucking funny.
She got me.
It's really, because it's even something like that. I don't think women know how far that goes to just be a man and know that, like, even though she don't need you don't need her to do it, she got you.
Yeah, I love that.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, we're all hustling in our own different ways, right?
Yeah.
And
life is hard.
Yeah. There's nothing like having a partner that you know, A, believes in you and will go through that with you, but if you fall, they got you to get you back up.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? So
That's a blessing.
The only reason why my wife doesn't work was because when I met her, she had just gone and started working like at a restaurant or something like that, and she ended up being pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the doctor, and the doctor said that she was high risk and that she couldn't work.
Okay.
Trust me, man. I was 25. I'm that whole mentality. No, you're my partner. You also got to work. You got to put in, you know, we're going to share some bills and this and that. But it was life that put me in this situation where it's like, nah, man, like she's scaring your kid. You need to figure the fuck out.
No, absolutely.
I was, man, when I met my wife, I was living in a converted garage.
Oh, shit.
I used to live in a converted garage, bro.
Did she stay in there with you? She moved in with you?
Yeah.
Shit, that's ride or die.
Yeah.
That's real.
Hey.
She,
Hold on to that.
I was on my way to the last trip I have taken to Costa Rica, and I told her, you know, we're together already. This trip has been booked already for months, but I do have to leave. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Just so you know that I want you in my life. Like, here are the keys to my little thing. And she took them, and of course we talked every single day while I was over there. And bro, when I come back, my whole apartment is like changed. It smells good. Like the like new bed sheets. And she bought like extra pillows and everything. And
I chose your life, boy.
Bro, like I just knew that was it.
Listen, crazy you say that. I do a test. I have like a shoe wall and a bunch of shit, clothes folded up clothes. I put everything on the ground. Every time a girl comes over, and I let them inside my house when I'm usually not home. And I'm like, oh, just go home, go to my house, I'll meet you there. This last one I started talking to organized everything. She's like, I couldn't look at it. I made up your bed, everything. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. That's dope.
I mean, you know, it's circling back to you ask me, does someone, did getting married help you as a man? Short answer is yes. But with the little extra detail for those is, again, I don't mean go fucking married the hoochie from the club or anything like that, right? I found my wife, like she was my neighbor. She was my freaking neighbor, man. I remember talking to my dad and telling my pop, he's like, yo, man, like, I don't know if I got the cooties or what the hell. I'm going single for 3 months, sure. Like, I get girls, but all the girls that want me are the ratchet ass girls. And I want someone legit. And he's like, boy, you're going to find the right girl in the least expected time.
Yeah.
Boom. She popped up.
Yeah.
She was my neighbor, man.
See, that's...
And, you know, the thing is, like, that doesn't mean that, like, you can't go to the club with a woman and have a good time. Well, there ain't no good ones in the club. So let me clarify that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't mean that.
At the same time, bro, like, I like to get down. So it's like, you know, it's cool to have someone I want to go.
Yeah, go to club and party and shit. Yeah, no, that's cool.
Oh, no, trust me, man. Well, my girl's Colombian, bro. My girl's Colombian, so they
like, shake it.
Oh, man, they get down with the salsa and everything. Cali is known as the birthplace of salsa.
You should go down on Roosevelt in like Central.
Okay.
There's a Mexican spot, I'll tell you it, but it's over by the radio station, and they do salsa.
Huarachos?
No, it's called Sina.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. Sinagave?
Yeah. They do salsa there on like during the week. It's a vibe.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. You gotta put me on.
Yeah, you gotta bring wifey there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a tequila guy. My guy goes down there.
I'm a tequila guy, my guy.
I converted myself to wine. I was drinking too much tequila, bro. It started getting bad. I'm like, bro, I'm drinking these margaritas like it's fucking water, dog.
We learned something recently.
Yeah, bro, don't mix red and wine.
I love tequila. Fortaleza is like mine.
If you have a staple, really just a go-to. Bottle is $20, but bro, gran malo. I sent you guys a picture of it. I'll share it
good
with
for
you.
mixing or straight like?
Oh, it's phenomenal for mixing, man.
I'm like Ocho, but like $20 is down my alley. I love that.
If you like like Mexican spicy Mexican candy, this tequila, when you sip it, the aftertaste, it tastes like tamarind candy.
Okay. No additives.
It's phenomenal.
I need to get it. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Listen, I believe in like A girl, I just say I want a boring girl, but I believe in like balance, yin and yang. So we need to balance you out.
Yeah, bro.
Some girl asked me one time, she's like, "Would you date yourself?" I thought about it. I said no. No. She said no. She said what? I said no because two of me would be treacherous. Like you imagine, like I feel bad for my last relationships because I would leave town and be like, I'll be back in a day or two. I wouldn't be back for like a week and a half because I'm like, well, where else can I go? Like, starting on this journey, I'll get a call like, hey, I never leave my house without a passport because I'll get on a flight anywhere I want to go and meet somebody. But yeah, I need somebody like who's boring. I can chill with on the weekends, but then I make their lives exciting and I introduce them to more things so we can do other things together.
Right.
Yeah. I need a boring, like...
You need a yang.
I need an organized girl who, like, eats the same thing. They meal prep. Because that's not me. I'm like, everything's flavorful. Like, I need a girl who works out.
Unexpected. Just pick up and go.
Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get out of here. But she can't have, like, a normal 9 to 5. She needs, like... to be able to go somewhere sometimes.
Flexible.
Yeah,
remote work.
The one I talked to now has a 4 or 3 day weekend. I was like, okay, that's doable. I can do that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
PTO.
Yeah. Because I asked, like, well, how often you have to ask for? She's like, well, a month or two in advance. I said,
damn.
I told her, I don't even know if I'm gonna be alive. A month or two. I've never planned anything. The only thing I planned out, and I'm so mad, 50 Cent concert. I never bought a concert ticket in advance because I believe nothing's ever sold out.
Yeah.
I've gotten into anything. So I was like, you know what? I really want to go with 50 Cent. This guy came out during Super Bowl or All-Star Weekend maybe like 15 years ago, put on a show at Slebby Theater. He got back on the mic another hour and a half after his show and performed more. I was like, man, I got to see 50. So I bought these tickets. I'm like, I got to be in town. Happened to be during the summer. He cancels. I was like, I will never buy another ticket. So now I'm just sitting around waiting till they tell me. I was like, no. I don't plan anything.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Nothing's ever sold out in this world to me, in my mind.
Jazzy, before we wrap up over here, I did want to ask you, man. We like to pour into our audience. Your background, not only it's incredibly intriguing, you've had a road. We address the fact that you've done things that you're not so proud of. We address the fact that you were able to switch it into something positive where now you're not only extremely influential, but you're building your own things. I want you to take a few minutes. And if you had the possibility to go back and encounter yourself on that moment, identifying that you have all the talent that's needed.
Yeah.
But if you're able to tell yourself things that you do know now, not necessarily what would you change, but what sort of advice would you give that younger self before stepping into doing the wrong thing?
It's crazy because I'm going to say nothing. I'm going to say it always works itself out. And the reason why is just because I take the bad with the good. Because if I didn't go through these struggles, if I wasn't homeless or I didn't have to hustle to get where I was at, I think I would just be, I hate to say normal, but normal scares me. Like waking up every day and punching the fucking clock, might as well bury me and put me in the fucking ground because I'm not living life. I don't care for money. I'd rather live on, my end game is I'm going to have a beach house in another country, a little shack. I'm going to have a bar next door and it's going to call Jazzy's. It's happy hour all day. I'm making cocktails and it's just a vibe. I just want to be like at peace and chill. So it's hard to tell. I would never tell. I tell it all works itself out at the end of the day. Like don't get discouraged. Do what you got to do. And because I had to do what I had to do because I would have been working at Sears making $12 an hour and like, I don't know where what be a manager and then a car sale. That's not me. My mind doesn't work that way. I know how to start businesses or I have ideas. I always have great ideas. And I love being around certain people because all we talk about, like me and Ani, we talk about how do we make more money together or how can I make your business better? Because I think about 10 different ways to make your business better. So yeah, young me, I just say, hey, live your life because I think society has taught us I think it's a lie. You know why? Because I think you can always be successful. You can always get a job. So in your 20s and 30s, when you fuck up, you make your mistakes, you live life. I can't be 55 blowing lines off a stripper's asshole, right? I can do that in my 20s. So I think we work so hard that now we're 55 and 65 now in retirement, and that's when you get to live and you're old. Like, no, like live your life now. Like, you should be experiencing life, and you should be spending whatever dollars you can to experience more of life. Yes, save, but I've seen so much death, and so tomorrow's not promised, right? Mm-hmm. What's promised is I make sure my kids are set up, and I have life insurance policies on myself or whatever. They'll have their own accounts, but all my money is going to me living my life. I had $1 million of car. I was a nigga. I didn't think about this. I had $1 million. I was talking to this girl yesterday. She's like, what happened to all these cars you had? I said, I had $1 million of cars, and in front of a condo I'm renting. They're all green, and I'm just driving them. Like, $250,000, I'm just driving a car like a dumbass down the road. But none of that made me happy. It was just like, which is crazy. Dan Bilzerian one time told me, we were like drinking one time, and he was like, look, he's like, you have a better life than me. And he's like, why? He's like, you have less, and you're just free. You can do whatever you want. And I didn't think about it that way, but it made sense because my memories, I can just go back, and it just makes me happy. Like, all these experiences I had. So, yeah, just, I can go on and on, but it always works itself out, and just keep your head up at the end of the day. Don't change anything, because
what's meant for you is meant for you.
It's meant to be. So
I love this, and it was a great episode. And Jazzy, man,
my dog.
Bro, I feel like we went everywhere.
What a roller coaster, man. I feel like I went around the world. Shit.
Straight up, bro. I love that, though.
You know, we've had so many conversations on these couches, man. Just
different paths,
and different conversations, and a lot of it's business, a lot of it's branding, a lot of it's entrepreneurship, all this stuff. But man, this episode, you made me think. Made me think about a lot. So, man, thank you, Jazzy, for joining us.
I love it. Yeah, I don't do podcasts, but I respect this guy so much. So I was
thank you, brother.
We appreciate you coming here and telling the story. And, you know,
I got stories for days, guys. Like,
for sure.
But, you know,
when we throw a party, we're gonna need you.
Absolutely. You know, unfortunately, we got to wrap this up. I wish we had more time to talk, but like we always say to our viewers, you know, we want y'all right here on this couch with us. So, you know, subscribe, head over to Instagram, drop a follow.
Jesse, where can they find you?
Yeah.
Oh man, Sean, Jazzy, Jeff, but there's nothing special there. Just me traveling.
Yeah, bro, living fucking life.
Hey, if you need some inspiration,
bro. I'm telling you, this guy inspired. Every time I see his story, I'm like, bro, this nigga's in a fucking different country every fucking week, bro. God damn. So, like I said, bro, it's definitely follow the boy. It'll definitely inspire you to get on your shit, bro. So, thank you, bro. Again,
I appreciate
you, big dog.
Until next one, guys. We'll see you. Thank you.
See you. Peace.